Yo, yo, anti-procrastination experiment. Now, let me turn this music down. We don't need no copyright strikes. So, like I say, man, anti-procrastination experiment. I'm just in the lab, cooking up, putting up some hats together so I can hit the streets, go out, promote the Master Your Energy brand, promote the anti-procrastination experiment show, and build the community. Right now I'm in the phase, we're in community building phase. We'll always be in community building phase, but right now we got a strong focus on building our community. You know, that's tapping in with the people that's on the same frequency. Is not just the content and the messaging that we putting out, but tapping in with the people that's on the same frequency in life, that's going through the same real life situations, and just sharing the way that I'm navigating these situations in ways that that you could possibly navigate them if it's helpful to you. But also, since this is a community, y'all sharing the ways that y'all navigating these situations with me and the rest of the community, and us, you know, manifesting our best life together. And I think that's how we change our own individual lives, and that's how we change the world collectively. So they say your vibe attracts your tribe. So at Master Your Energy, we about putting out whole vibes and attracting people that are vibrating holistically as well. When I think about vibrating holistically, without getting too technical, it's just mastering your energy holistically, all around the board. That's physically, mentally, spiritually. You know, you could go deeper. You could say emotionally. You could say financially. But I think all that's covered when you say physically, mentally, and spiritually. When you master your energy physically, you know, when you eat right, when you work out, when you just are able to tap into the physical aspect of the world and get everything you need and survive and thrive. You know, when you master your energy physically, you're able to obtain shelter. You're able to obtain food. You're able to obtain the physical essentials that you need in your life to be happy, right? You get to have everything that you need. So, saying that to say, I'm gonna always preach master your energy. I'm always gonna work to master my energy and become the best version of myself.
Master your energy. Master your energy. Control that shit. That shit. Never think negative. When you think negative, that's all you gonna get. Always think positive. We ain't manifesting no negativity.
But this particular video is about transitioning to your next phase in life, right? So I would expect this video to resonate with an older, quote unquote, older audience, you know. But at the end of the day, even if you are younger watching this, life is about phases. Transitioning to the next phase in life could be going from middle school to high school, going from high school to college, going from college to the real world, going from job to job. I just had a conversation with a good friend of mine, and what we have in common is that we both played, well, I played professional basketball. He is still currently playing professional basketball. So the real conversation we had about transitioning to your next phase in life is that sometimes when we in one phase of life, for example, if you're a basketball player and you're a professional basketball player, when you're in a certain phase of life, your ego tends to identify with that phase. So when it's time to transition to the next phase of life, your ego tends to cling on to that phase of life. So if I'm a professional basketball player and I am experiencing doing what I love to do, I'm experiencing, you know, the gratification of having the crowd cheer for me when I score a basket, the gratification of the relationships I cultivate with my teammates, you know, throughout the season in the locker room and going through stuff together, you know, you identify with all these experiences and you start to feel like that's you, you know? And when it's time to, in the case of a basketball player, when it's time to retire or move on to your next phase of life, it can be hard because your identity is so tied up into the day-to-day routine and the successes that you're having through the game that it's hard to let those things go and find your next phase in life or transition to your next phase of life. And sometimes when our identity is so caught up in what we do, there's fear associated with, man, am I gonna enjoy my next phase in life the way I'm enjoying this one? If I'm going to basketball practice every day, I'm having games, I'm traveling to games, I'm getting to meet fans after the game, I'm getting to sign autographs, I'm getting to do all of these things that I identify with being a successful basketball player. When it's time to transition to the next phase, it can be hard to let it go. So let's talk about some ways that we can transition to the next phase of life. You got to realize, even as a pro basketball player or as an artist or as a rapper or as whatever it is that you're doing in this phase of life as you transition to the next one, you have to remember that you are not what you do. You are not what you do. Because you play basketball, that doesn't mean that you are only a basketball player. That's what you do. You're a person that plays basketball. But of course, if you think about it, you may have to think back to childhood, but you could think back to a time in your life where there probably is other things that you like to do or that you like to do. And you can work from that point and try to bring yourself to a place where the successes or the fundamentals that you use to practice basketball, you can start to bring those fundamentals into your next phase of life. You know, when you find your next hobby, your next calling, so to speak. From there, you'll start to find your way. And of course, this video is just a tipping point for a longer conversation. But I think the point that I'm making is, don't identify yourself by what you do. That'll help you transition to the next phase of life, because you are not what you do. The things that make you a great basketball player, the fundamentals, right? Your ability to succeed on the basketball court. What I've learned in life is that you could take those same fundamentals to any other aspect in life and have similar success if you learn the fundamentals of the next game that you're playing. So, anti-procrastination. Master your energy. I want everybody out there, if you're watching this video, to ask yourself, how do you identify yourself? You know, in terms of your livelihood or your hobbies or the things that you do on a day-to-day basis. Because if your ego starts to get locked into seeing yourself a certain type of way, it can be hard for you to change and transition to that next phase of life. And one thing we know about life, the only constant in life is change, right? So continue to grow, continue to evolve. Don't resist your growth. Don't resist your change. Don't resist the different directions that your path may take you on. Just continue to to gain and seek knowledge of self and find your true identity. So that way, when it is time to transition or do something different, you're able to take your best self and your best qualities that you cultivated from your current phase of life, and you transition them, and you become great at the next thing you do. And one great book that I could recommend for this topic is The War of Art. The War of Art. I know a lot of us have heard of Sun Tzu and The Art of War, but I think it's I don't want to misquote the name of the author, but I'm gonna take a guess and say it's Stephen Pressfield. If I'm wrong, don't crucify me in the comments. The book is The War of Art, and what he talks about is when you're creating in life, there's a natural resistance, or when you're doing anything in life, there is a natural resistance. A natural resistance that is there to be an obstacle for you to get over. And as you work to get over that obstacle, you'll break through the resistance of art, or resistance of success, the resistance of manifestation. And speaking on a personal level, my resistance for quite some time, I think, amongst other things, is procrastination. So y'all are having the opportunity, or you more specifically, because I know I'm talking to one person out there, somebody out there that feels this message. You are working through your obstacles to become great. And if you are like me and that obstacle is procrastination, then the anti-procrastination experiment is for you, like it is for me. It's us sitting down, writing down, holding ourselves accountable of the things that we are manifesting, and going after those things every day, and taking the action steps that we need to take to manifest our reality. But putting the work in, making these hats so I can get out here and meet my community face to face, hand to hand, and present them with a hat that will represent these principles that we're talking about, in exchange for them to subscribe and join the community, and to actively become the best version of themselves along with me as I do the same thing. So, man, y'all get things done today. I'm gonna go and finish these hats up. And when I finish the hats up, I'm gonna go out to Wynwood, Miami, one of my favorite places. Go out to Brick House, and continue to build my tribe, connect with my tribe, man. Get something done today.